All right, welcome to yet another AMA here in the bakery. Today we have Mind Token here, and we are co-hosted by Immortal by Luke. So I would like to give the floor to you, both guys. Stefan, Ed, take it away.
All right. So I'm glad you guys could have us here today. It's an honor to be here. My name is Ed Kervan. I live in Parksville, British Columbia on Vancouver Island. That's about a half an hour from where Stefan lives. Him and I have been personal friends for years. You know, he was going through some issues a while back when we were talking about how to bring a project to crypto, and it kind of led to this idea. So what we did is we built our corporation, Mental Services Inc., and we reached out to the global wellness company LifeWorks to see how we could bring their employee assistance packages to the crypto space. And so we had months of talks with you know, people who higher ups in LifeWorks, and found a way that we could bring the utility to the space without being in breach of the basic obligations of their contracts. And so what we came up with is that, you know, we don't actually sell LifeWorks utilities. We facilitate the interaction between crypto and LifeWorks, and anybody who utilizes our staking system, as far as LifeWorks is concerned, is our employees. And as such, they're able to receive the same kind of benefits that you would get if you worked for a massive corporation like Walmart or HP or Disney, or even you know, more under the radar things like the Canadian Nuclear Association or you know,
CERMAC.
Or CERMAC, I was just going to say.
Yeah. They're the company that I was using when we first came up with the concept. I'll just tell my little story real quick and then let Ed jump back into it because he's so good. But I used LifeWorks through the current job I have when I left my wife, October 2020. And I talked to them before I left, kind of make sure the decision I was making was right, the right thing for myself and my kids. And then I utilized them afterwards, and especially after my father passed away a couple weeks after that. I was in talks with them for quite some time, actually, and I found the services really good. And with Ed bringing me into crypto around that time, I also saw that there was nothing like this available in the open market, especially in the crypto space. It just wasn't talked about then. So that was why we came forward with our idea, was to make sure that we start talking about mental health, because that's where you start.
Yeah. And you know, Stefan and I, we've meshed together really well on this because, you know, my experience in crypto is fairly extensive, and Stefan's experience in the corporate world is fairly extensive. And so it's just been a really complementary partnership in that, you know, he knows the route in the corporate world to set up with an organization like LifeWorks, and I know the route in crypto to get to market. And so and he's just been an absolute beast of a partner. He's the guy's everywhere. I mean, I pride myself on my ability to connect and network and everything else, and man, he just goes for it. It's fantastic. So.
Beat my drum.
Can you speak a bit more? Ed, can you speak a bit more on your guys' background? Because you say you have a lot of experience in crypto. Can you tell a bit more about what you've done?
So I've been in crypto since 2017. I started off buying the top like everybody else. I didn't quit though. You know, I DCA'd for years through various utility projects, and I did quite well in it when the bull came. I've been a moderator in multiple projects. This is the first project where I'm a contract owner and I actually have control over, you know, or part control over marketing and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm really excited for that because, you know, I've learned a lot through, you know, the moderation roles that I've taken in various projects. And one of the big things I've learned is to make sure that you have everything that you can possibly have inside of your control so that nothing goes south on you that's, you know, that you're unable to mitigate or deal with. So for instance, you know, one project I was in was Rescue Token, and it was a fantastic project. I mean, I didn't own it, but I was really active in it. I was a spokesperson for it. And we were doing great. We had some of the largest animal sanctuaries in North America partnered with us. And then when we went to make our first donation, we guided them through creating a Coinbase account and how to operate in crypto. And one of the board members basically shit the bed and said, absolutely no way are we dealing with crypto. And it killed our biggest partner, who was also aligned with our other partners. And it absolutely ruined the project. And so having this corporation means that we can interact with places like that, not necessarily an animal sanctuary, that's not the theme of this, but we can do that without upsetting shareholders and drawing red flags to the other corporations in the future that we engage. Other issues like, owning our own code and hosting our own code for our website, so that if there are any issues there, one project I was in, it would take 3 or 4 weeks to change one piece of information. So if the project took a different turn, my role as a moderator was a nightmare, because I'm constantly for weeks having to debunk that faulty information. Just those little lessons combined over the years really helped us set up this project in a way that we feel it's going to be really manageable for us to run, and that, if we do need to make a fast change, we're able to do it without all of that negativity that comes with having faulty information present. Before that, I was really heavily in the torrenting community for years and years. Started up in even before torrenting in the days of WinMX. We ran large movie groups. We had the 3rd largest movie group on WinMX at the time, Linux Movie Mania, and I helped run that for years and years. And then we moved into the torrenting space a little bit with that, but we had a bit of trouble getting traction because there was a lot bigger players at the time. And of course, it's all by donation, and so it's really hard to, we're personally investing in this, and but it was a hell of a learning experience. We had a really good time. Now, as far as, transferable skills go, I've owned a landscaping company here in Parksville for the last 22 years. I've got staff out working right now. And so, I definitely know what it is to keep a business running, and the challenges that you're going to have. And, we've survived all of that. It's, to start from a very small business with a pickup truck and work to what we've got today, it's no small feat. And so, I definitely have the management experience without a doubt. It's what I do.
And on the corporate side, we've made sure, both of us in the beginning made sure that anything that we say we're going to do, like our services, providing out our services, that'll all be covered for the next. Well, I'm contracted personally for a year, so if anything, and it's auto renewable. But we've made sure that we can cover everything for a couple of years, and at least make sure we get our name out there. We build it properly, slowly. That's how I've always built anything in the corporate world.
Yeah, and I learned that lesson too. I was once a much larger business. I'm talking about my landscaping business, and it got really, really big, really fast, and it became quite unmanageable. And I learned to dial down and find where are the cake jobs, so to speak, and what's the most lucrative thing that we can be doing right now. And so, I've seen what happens when things explode too hard, and it's hard to keep on top of it. My days were babysitting at the time, and so I had to make a lot of changes, but it all worked out well. It's, we do less and keep more, and that's the goal in a business like mine.
Yeah, it sounds like you both have very business-oriented backgrounds, and that's also what I found yesterday listening to you explaining about the platform and really bringing, or how do you say that, communicating the value of what you guys are bringing here with the platform. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it again, because it looked awesome. I understand it's the platform offered by LifeWorks, and you have like your dedicated section there, but I think I also asked it yesterday in your chat, but I would really like you guys to explain a bit more how the staking and the access management goes towards the access you have for LifeWorks.
Here, I'll post a little a GIF of how our staking looks on the DApp right now.
So essentially what it is so essentially what it is we've set up a few pools to start. We've got a 1, 6, and a 12-month pool. We can add more. We've set it up with single-use contracts, and the reason for that is that we're able to very quickly onboard other projects, and we're able to, they can choose between set or variable APYs and so on. And so we just had to make that fluid and not just a one-time thing. Pardon me. And so how we have it set up is that one of the big things is we wanted to make sure that these, that there was a potential to make money in the project, but that it was also really easily accessible from a cost barrier perspective. And so we set our lowest pool at a $50 market value stake and a $5 per month onboarding fee. Okay, so what happens is that, a user can come on for 1 month, they can stake their $50 market value, they'll get a 25% APY, and they'll pay a $5 fee for the staking. That $5, goes into helping cover the overheads of onboarding people. So what happens is, we're set up economically much like LifeWorks is set up. So LifeWorks has roughly 15,000 corporate clients, and through those corporate clients, they have 26 million immediate users plus the immediate family members of those 26 million users. And so they're a massive platform. And what they do is they collect fees off of those 26 million users, and that helps cover the overheads for them to operate at such a discounted rate for these corporations in various countries and locales. And so we're set up much like that, where, if we get 30% of the people who utilize our staking systems are actually using the service, and we expect it'll be something like that, 20 or 30%, then the fees for the rest of the users go to cover those overheads with no drain on our chart. But it also generates in time some revenue that we can point into our systems depending on what we need at the time, be it marketing or developing funds, or it might just be a buy and burn thing. Again, it'll depend on where we are in the market and where we are in development. But the other benefit to that is, of course, we've set it up so that partners can join us. So we've got Izanagi and Snafu going live really quickly here with their staking systems, and their users will be able to stake Izanagi or Snafu tokens and receive that LifeWorks utility. We collect that $5 per month onboarding fee, and that feeds back into the system to cover everything. And the cool thing is that the more people that we onboard, the lower our cost per user is. And so in time, if we, when we start getting into the, 10,000 users and 20,000 users, it actually costs us less per user and generates more money that we can put back into the project. And so it's just one of those, it's like a snowball. The more we grow, the more we're going to grow. And so we think that's a pretty interesting system. Now, the 12-month pool, that's the highest APY, obviously. We've got 150% APY in the 12-month pool, and you would pay a $60 staking fee. But, people need to understand the value of what we're offering, right? Because if you go to when it comes to telemedicine, especially in the United States, where people pay per visit or they pay through an insurance plan that are quite costly, they're able to access. So one session with a U.S.-based e-health general practitioner was quoted to me at $170. So you imagine if you have 3 of those sessions in a year, you've covered the cost of that 12-month staking pool easily, and that's not including all the other services inside of LifeWorks. We've got lawyers, and there's lawyers, there's doctors, there's therapists, there's masters accredited psychiatrists, there are fitness planners, there are financial advisors, there are workshops, and we'll get into that when we screencast. But I really like to drive home the value of what people get for that stake, because they pay that $60 fee and they invest that $400 in the 12-month pool. They get 150% APY over the course of the year, and at the end they get their tokens back. There is absolutely no way on the open market that you can even come close to what we're able to offer. And the cool thing is that this is the only public access to these services. You cannot access these services unless you work for one of the corporations that employs LifeWorks, either for their employee assistance benefits packages or for their pension plans. And so, we're actually brainstorming in the background as to how we could set up a pension system, because we do have that ability. We just don't quite know how to bring it to market right yet, because we've got so much going on.
Sorry about that, guys.
To me, sounds like you got a lot of backing. It sounds really, really good. I'm just looking through the white paper. It looks very, very clean. So is it currently just the 2 of yourselves on the team?
Well, we have a community manager in Jem. Jem is also the CEO of Izanagi. Our contract developer and our front-end developer are personal friends of mine. They aren't directly on the team. They're contracted out, but they've always had my back. We've been trading in a private little group for about 2 years. There's only 20 of us. We're really, really tight knit, and we share pictures of our kids and stuff. We're doxed to each other and everything else. Our developer isn't publicly doxed, but we're friends, and so we have a long established trust between us. Also, he writes 5 or 6 contracts per week. He's written multiple staking contracts and for different projects. None of them have been exploited. He's the guy who goes into projects and says, "Hey, Dev, you need to change line 721 to whatever, or else you're going to get exploited." He's one of those guys. And so we're really, really comfortable with them. We've got a couple of smaller mods and NFT artists that are, they're more contracted then directly into the team. So the contracts Stefan and I are directly in control of. You know, that's all us. But we have a really great backing of people who, you know, kind of guide us in the directions we need to go. And we've also got the support of DGEM and Conda Labs as well. And so we've got a really great network of people to keep us plugging along in the right direction.
That's right.
Yeah, it seems like a very base network of teams, sure, especially when you all know each other within the core. That brings a lot more bullishness personally to me as well with projects I know I've worked with in the past, and we've all been docked to each other in the past. You tend to just smash the project out. You don't stop. You know, you all know each other. You all know each other's skills, each other's even, you know, sleeping times, and that's the best thing with being in a base team. So with your utility branding and production, is this going to be made by yourselves or a core member you know, or is this an outsourcing team that will be creating it?
I'm sorry, can you reiterate? I didn't quite grasp
So
the
the utilities, will you be using an outsourced team? So will you be hiring a developer to build, you know, externally, or do you have an internal source for that?
Are we talking about the actual
Like our
utilities of
NFT,
doctors
the
and
NFT
lawyers and so
side
on?
and the game and fiat onboarding system.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So your actual system's going to be online, so etc. Like your staking platform. Of course, it's going to have to be some kind of onboarding platform, you know, to work with the doctors, the therapists, etc.
Okay,
That's all
okay, okay.
live now.
Let's,
We have people I'm onboarding for free. Yeah.
let's screen share.
Awesome.
So what you're seeing right now is the landing page for LifeWorks. That's not my screen share, it's somebody else's, but that's what the general public sees, and this is why I like to screen share. Because, let me just dig it up here. Because, as I say, the general public cannot access, where are you? Right there. We got 3 tabs, yeah. Cannot access our feed unless they've been inside of the mine token staking system. And so, as I say, this is the landing page for LifeWorks. This is what you see when you click on it. This is our feed inside of the LifeWorks app. And so what happens is a user stakes, and Stefan shared a GIF. The user stakes, and then a window opens up, and they're able to input their email. That email gets forwarded to LifeWorks. LifeWorks sends an invite email, and then the user is able to access our feed inside of the LifeWorks systems. And so you can see here, we've got minetoken.lifeworks.com. This is our feed inside the system. Right here, you've got a Get Care Now button. What this does is it puts you in touch with an onboarding agent. That agent will, basically ask you what it is you're looking for inside of their systems, and they'll point you to the right people, be it a lawyer or a therapist or, a fitness advisor and what have you. Pardon me. And so there's several ways that you're able to deal with that onboarder or with therapists. You've got a 1-800 number. You can see this is the Canadian number. And then you've got an IRC style chat. I won't click on that because it takes me out of the page. And you can also do Microsoft Teams teleconference, with your onboarding agent and with the people who you interact with. So you can see under the support and resources section, we have a telemedicine section. It'll pop up. As I say, there's 26 million users, so it takes a little bit sometimes for this to load, server strain. But right here, it'll pop up the LifeWorks telemedicine app. And again, I won't click on this because it'll draw me outside of the system, or outside of this page. But what happens is you're able to talk to a general practitioner really quickly in your country. And they're able to diagnose general maladies. They're able to send you to a lab for blood work. They're able to set you up with a specialist referral. If you're in a place like the United States where you pay per visit, they're able to set you up with a discount referral to a doctor or a general practitioner that is in their system. So they have a whole network of doctors and lawyers in their systems, and they're able to give referral discounts through that. And I think that's pretty special, especially, if you've ever been a part of anything legal, or, if you're in a pay healthcare system, that referral discount can be really significant to you in the long run. So just having that first point of contact through LifeWorks can save people a lot of money. Right next to it, you see we've got the Lift Session Fitness app, and what that is it's a customizable workout program app. So you're able to set custom workouts or join one of the pre-created workouts, and it will send you notifications. You've got heart rate monitors and reminders and all sorts of neat stuff like that. But the really fun thing is that you can talk to a fitness expert and tell them like, hey, take an assessment. This is where I'm at in my physical journey. And they will help create a custom workout plan that, again, will send you reminders like, hey, it's time for your step challenge or whatever it is that you've built with that instructor. And so that it's a pretty special thing. We get into the, well-being section. And in here we have assessments. There's an assessments tab here as well. And what you're able to do is you're able to work through their automated assessment system, and it will ask you some rather personal questions. And at the end of it, the system will recognize, based on your answers, what services they have available to you that would most likely benefit you. And of course, you can pick and choose between them, or and as you work through those assessment system, because there's quite a few actually, you work into a tiering system. So you see that you've got the bronze here. It goes bronze, silver, gold, as one would expect. And people kind of say, well, you only got 10 points. I had a demo account for months and months, and I've already worked through it all. But what happens is that as you work up through the tiering section, or the tiering process in the assessments, you're able to get discounts from big name brands. And so every brand that you see on this feed right now employ LifeWorks for either EAP packages or pension plans. Usually both, and you can see there's some pretty serious groups in here. And the farther you work up in the tiering, the better these discounts get. And this is just the landing page for that. There's actually another section that has much more. It's a long scroll. And you can see top 10 and exclusive offers, and etc. We've also got a live feed. We haven't been too interactive on it yet because everybody that we've onboarded has been either people who we felt maybe were in crisis, and we just gave them a month's free. The services are live, but the token's not live yet, and so the staking's not live. But we're able to interact with our community through this live feed and set up little challenges. You can see we've got some posts in here about our partners who are going live with staking shortly. So it's a really fun thing, and like you can see, I mean, you've got you've got an article for everything. You've got group workshops for things like PTSD, and you've got, they have subsidiary companies that deal with addiction and so on, like Breaking Free Addiction, who actually follow our Twitter as well as their CEO. And so, yeah, it's a massive and vast program. LifeWorks is a 56-year-old publicly traded company. They're in sales talks with TELUS, which is a massive communications company in Canada, who's moved really heavily into the e-health industry. So they're in sales talks right now for, I think the last I heard was $2.3 billion. So these guys are no joke. They're as legit as they come. Now, they service over 60 countries with the full series of packages. And so for right now, for launch, because we're paying for these services out of pocket, and there's only so much we can pay for at one time, we've got the full packages live in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. The mental health services, however, are completely global, and we can add the full package to 60 different countries. And so as time progresses, we're able to look at different demographics and say, okay, well, this country, for instance, we get a lot of people in our group from Turkey. Turkey's in an inflationary crisis. We think that it's a place where mental and physical health services will be a benefit to people, and they're a high crypto adoption country. And so we're going to be looking to really target as we move from country to country, because each country is going to have kind of their own specific needs based on what their healthcare system looks like, and what's going on in their country, and so on. So yeah, it's a pretty vast system. I'm actually, if you don't mind, I'll stop the screen share because I've had Telegram bug us out.
No, absolutely. I think it gives a really clear picture when you put this on screen, and it's already live because it's built, like you said, 65 years track record company behind it, and you can integrate because you have the incorporation. So in short, I'm really impressed by you guys being able to get around the table with a company like LifeWorks and get the approval for them to allow you guys to offer this to staking.
I'll be honest, we were just as surprised at first. My first contact with them, I thought, okay, here we are. I kind of said, okay, we want to sign it. We want to hire you guys, and they came back and they said, okay, how many employees do you have? And I'm like, I emailed back. I'm like, we have 2, but we want to give it out to all our members in crypto. And I honestly thought that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Right. And no, I got a response from somebody pretty high up there, and we had some good meetings, and we came up with these ways that we could do it. And he kept thanking me for doing the legwork. And I think there's a bigger picture in play for them that I'm not 100% sure, right? It seems like I think they were already thinking about going into this market, and we're a perfect way for them to do the research, get in, and that's why they've been so willing to work with us. But yeah, we're really excited.
They talk about us internally because I opened the Twitter and I made a post that was just 2 eyeballs, like just, something's coming, and I left it at that. And we did 0 advertising. We didn't have a Telegram open because we wanted to have everything organized before we did that, because we recognize that we're filling a niche in the market that doesn't exist in a way that is just simply has not been done. And we didn't want somebody with a bigger wallet to come and front run the hell out of us. And so we were very cautious as to how we moved into the market. And Stefan was selling himself short there a little bit, because one of the big reasons that LifeWorks took us seriously is that we took the proper steps to build the corporation before we reached out to them. We had our ducks in a row. So don't sell yourself short on that, because that was instrumental in making that agreement. If we had gone to them first without the corporation, they would have washed us aside, and there's no doubt about that. So.
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. I was doing my research yesterday, and you guys, hence I also joined the VC you guys were having. And the first thing I noticed when I looked up LifeWorks was their pricing. And they're not really transparent on how the pricing works, but the big lines is you are a corporation, probably multinational, and you want to offer health benefits to your employees so they can do their jobs better and you have less sick leave, those kind of things. So in my head, I'm going, okay, you have to pay a fixed sum or per employee to LifeWorks. So how will that work if you go to crypto? Because you don't have employees, you have investors. And this sounds amazing, guys. Like you being able to reach out to this corporation and change basically how they interact with users, change their model even, because it's not employees, it's investors, it's a community. I'm impressed.
Ed and I believe in it so strongly that I was willing to put my financial future on the line with LifeWorks, basically, to say we're going to do this. So that's how much we believe in the whole product and making sure that we touch the people, which we've been giving out the services for about 3 months, and I've had a good half dozen people come back to me and be like, hey, you onboarded me a month ago or 2 months ago, and this is kind of what I was going through, and you really helped me out, and this is where I'm going now. Thank you. Right. So that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to make sure, is that we were able to help people, that the crypto space would take well to us, not just, oh, look, it's another charity token and they're trying to touch at people's heartstrings. That's not what we're about. And we've been going slow purposely to make sure that people know that about us.
Yeah. And I want to quickly add that, LifeWorks has been amazingly supportive. I had to make some notes so I didn't screw it up, but they adapted their contract to protect us from the system that we're making, so we didn't run afoul of their legal department. And so our contract states the staking stuff. It's not just, there's not a gray area in there. They changed it to keep us safe. They also rolled back their onboarding process to an earlier code that's much easier for us to integrate and automate into. They didn't have to do that. They could have forced us to code around something more modern. Instead, they made it really simple for us. The other thing they did is they recognized, when we brought it up, that people in crypto have a love of anonymity. And so, when we first had our feed live and we were testing everything out, we had a members directory. And because they are a proper, health system, they obviously, you wouldn't go into your doctors and say, hey, I'm Skate Monkey 420 and I hurt my arm. Right? I mean, you're going to say, hey, I'm Ed Kervan, and it's the same with LifeWorks. However, we're able to keep crypto people's anonymity safe in their systems. So yes, you're doxing to LifeWorks, but Mind Token will never know who you are. And so, they were really, really great about that. And so at every turn where we've had a small issue or something that we felt needed to be adjusted in the system, they've helped us find a solution. And so that's really, and again, they're getting their feet wet with us. They want to see if we're a success. And just like, we're removed from liability of malpractice and so on, because they operate as a proper company within the legal frameworks in the countries they operate in, they're also protected from crypto and they can let us go. So we've got this kind of really good relationship happening.
Yeah, and like you said, them having the platform already and the things with GDPR and data management, the compliance all in place really makes the difference, because I know how hard it is to build a platform, let alone a secure platform that is compliant to legislation, and then also mental or basically personal information, which is even more protected than just your name. Yeah, I can imagine that takes a lot of overhead from you having that from them. But what I like most about your approach is that you can also target other crypto projects, companies basically, and offer it as a service. So your business model isn't just you need to pay us and we need to have that monthly fee because you want to use mental health, but basically what LifeWork is doing, targeting organizations globally for their employees, it's the same for you guys, targeting other projects for their investors.
That's right.
And we found one second. And we found early that our staking system is great, but it doesn't touch all communities in the space. There's a lot of communities like yours, like AMA communities, that don't have necessarily tokens or the ability to use their token strategy to create a staking system. So what we did is we've got 2 NFTs. One NFT will onboard for a year the community and all of its staff and team, and that's purchased annually. And the second NFT, we're creating around a 3-month system. We'll work with different communities based on what they want, but that would be resellable to their members every 3 months, and the artwork and stuff for that particular one would be created with the community, so that would feed back into the community's slow income as well. Yeah, financials as well. So we've ensured, we found that early, and we ensured to find a way that we could touch all communities, not just crypto communities that have staking.
Yeah, we've kind of tentatively named them non-token group NFTs. And so what happens is that we have the LifeWorks utility tied to those NFTs, and then our front end will be able to recognize that, hey, this wallet owns this NFT. Here's your onboarding window to get into LifeWorks.
Yeah, it was one of the questions I had, like why choose for token staking and not NFT staking? Because in my opinion, NFTs are better for access management than tokens, but you've got both, which is even better.
And also when it comes to NFT staking, we originally wanted to launch on Ethereum, but we wanted above all that people had a low cost access. And the gas fees kind of murdered our utility, especially in the 1-month pools. And so we said, okay, you know what, we're going to put ETH way on the back burner, but we're going to work towards, getting to a point where we can launch on ETH in a more speculative way. And so that's where we'll be looking at things like NFT staking and really bringing, new NFT stuff to the market. Our game will probably be dual chain. We just needed to make sure that people had access to the utility. And Ethereum just murdered it. Everywhere we turn looking at Ethereum, it was just too costly to give people that access at a low price point.
You briefly just mentioned the game. Can you speak a bit more on what you are developing additionally to this mental health platform access?
Yeah, well, as I was talking about how the economics in the system works, we're looking at not everybody who buys into our system is going to be buying it to use these services. We've got a lot of chads in the space who are, 6 feet tall and bulletproof, and they don't feel they need any help, right? So we need other ways to keep people interested and engaged in the long run. And so what we came up with is, and there's only so much I'll tell you about it because conceptually it's easy to build. You could base a whole project around it. And again, we don't want to be front run on it, but I can give a general idea. What we're doing is we're creating a wellness game. And that wellness game will allow you, there'll be some microtransactional stuff in it that will help you upgrade and power up NFTs that the user will be able to work through the game and start to build an NFT that has been customized for themselves that they're later able to use on a speculative market if somebody's interested in buying it. But the idea is, and of course we're mental health themed. I mean, our project covers other aspects, but we really focus on the mental health. So it'll be like a calming, serene, there'll be little nice quotations that come up on a daily basis, and the gaming will be very, very mellow. And your goal is to try and either grind or micro pay your way into let's just say like palette upgrades, color upgrades, and things like that to create rarity in the system. I'm not going to explain how the NFTs interact with the game, because again, the concept is actually quite simple, but it's unique, and a good NFT artist could blast it out in an afternoon. Not the game, but the actual NFT concept, and you could literally base a project around it. So we're very, very protective of that idea right now. But the general gist of it is that it's a calming wellness game with an upgradable system that people who heavily interact with the game will end up with an NFT that is one-off and also has that LifeWorks utility tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Sounds really good. No questions there for me.
Yeah, you guys are smashing it. It looks like an awesome system. It's a huge thing for me. I'm massive over mental health. Donate 10% of all my income monthly to mental health.
Oh, wow.
So it's definitely something that I'm going to be sticking by. I'm interested.
Did you guys see what we were able to do with Mitch Buxton?
I've not.
No? Okay, so this was a little while ago, but we sponsored a gentleman. He's a Canadian he's a Canadian mental health nurse, and he teaches mental health nursing at a local university, and he also works at a center where people with mental health issues are being brought back into society and learning how to cope and how to take care of themselves. And what he did is he rode his bike from Vancouver to Toronto, which is roughly 4,600 or 4,800 kilometers, sanctioned by the Canadian Mental Health Association, to raise money for the Canadian Mental Health Association. And so we're a startup, so our donation wasn't very big, but we did help him get some good press, and we were able to put our decaling on his chase car, right? Because every time there's somebody travels like that, they have a chase car to carry all the materials and keep them safe. And so yeah, they drove that chase car all the way to Toronto and got some pretty good. They raised over $12,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association. His goal was 10 grand, so he smoked it. And in fact, the guy with the chase car is still driving his car around the island. We said he could come. I told him he could come to my house, and I removed the decals for him. And he's like, "No, man, we're keeping it." I was like, "Sweet, right on."
So we got two vehicles. My truck's deckled up, and his car. Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing that we really, as a corporation, we're really bullish on being able to do in the future, because again, like I described earlier with the rescue token and one of the board members, we're not going to have that red flag of crypto coming in on donations. We've got a corporate Coinbase account. We got a corporate bank account. We've got a corporation. And so when people see the money coming in, they're just going to be like, hey, what an awesome donation, right? Without all those red flag issues that crypto just seems to inherently come with in the corporate world.
We interviewed Mitch on our YouTube, on our TG here a couple of weeks ago, and I got the video up on YouTube there. So I posted our link tree. It's got a lot of most of our socials on it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Appreciate that. We'll definitely have a look. I'm looking at the white paper, so normally I have a couple of questions regarding the contract, but it's all been checked by Seek, and I don't see anything noteworthy. Also, the distribution. Let me put this on the screen for anyone listening as well. This is the distribution. Is this still valid for the current pre-sale?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, that we actually,
and then
when we redid our whitelist, we forgot to put that in, and it created some issues for half a day there. So yeah, we dumped it.
But that's why we own the code, because as soon as we were onto it, it was dealt with in minutes.
Yeah.
I guess now would be a good time to tell you about our taxes.
One question though, what is the LP reserves? Is that something that you want to add later to add more to liquidity, or?
We have 1.5 million tokens set aside so that as the system starts to profit, we're able to continually pair LP as needed.
Okay. Yeah. So with, for example, the tax generated, because the tax on the token, the buy and sell tax, like this auto, I assume. So
That's all.
automatically paired. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, that funding would come from profits from the staking system over time. And so we've got two things going on. When a new partner comes on, part of their when a new partner comes on, they're able to access a staking system, they're able to access the LifeWorks utility, and they're able to do it at less than a quarter of the cost that it would take them to develop it, host it, create the front end, and all that kind of stuff. And so we're able to offer that at such a cheap price because of the way we're set up that every time we get a partner on board, it'll come with a buy and burn in the system. Now, when it comes to the monthly staking fees, you know, the larger we grow, the more finances we're going to have to put back into the system. And we can choose to, depending on what the situation is. I mean, if the LP tax has filled us up nicely and the whales are happy and everything's great, then, you know, we can funnel that money towards marketing. We can do a buy and burn or what have you. But if the liquidity is looking rough, then we can say, okay, well, we've got some profit here. Let's pair, you know, 30,000 tokens to the LP and just give it a bump. You know, it just gives us the ability to be a little bit flexible and you know, we have a fluidity in that section of the system that allows us to cover where we may be lacking.
Yeah, that's right. And the last 6 months have really shown us that the market is been really unstable. So rather than put us in a situation where we're gonna show a dip or die off for a while because the market's doing crap, we at least have the ability to keep everything afloat.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's very healthy, especially with you guys having a business connected to it, to have a bit of management leeway both ways, being able to adjust to market conditions. And I can understand that you then have 10%. In the entire distribution, it's not even that much because most will be in staking, and it's growing, hopefully, due to more people using the platform. Fair enough. But yeah, you wanted to say something about the buy and sell tax.
Oh, you brought it up right after, so it's right in front of us. I was just going to read it off for you.
Just for clarification, what's the operations section for?
That's our pay. So that's how Stefan and I get paid in the system. We get 1% each of transactional volume, and you know, I think that's a really reasonable rate. We're able to lower taxes over time if we need to, you know. So we had this whole thing set up so that it was very obvious that this is not a cash grab. We have seen so many feel-good projects with tokenomics set up that just absolutely drain the chart and drain the system, and then they leave people wanting. And we just wanted people to recognize that, you know, on launch day, Stefan and I aren't going to make $1 million and, you know, ride off into the sunset on a horse. You know, we're going to be incentivized to work and be here in the long run. So we'll get a payday, but it's not Lambos, you know.
Yeah, Pinto.
I might buy a fishing rod or something, you know.
A nice camping trip with the kids.
Yeah.
I
think for your mental health, a fishing rod will do more than a Lamborghini. So in that regard, you're fine.
I actually bought a nice flat transom canoe and electric motor in the last bull run, and I've named her Lambo. It's my Lambo.
Fair enough. Yeah, smart. I'm out of questions, guys. Like I mentioned a couple of times during this AMA, I'm impressed. I'll definitely be buying myself. My girlfriend as well. She already mentioned in the pre-discussions she had, I think, with Stefan, that she was very convinced because she's very into mental health and coaching.
Oh, yeah, we had some program chats. I was actually really impressed with your girlfriend and how well she articulated herself to do with mental health and it's communities like that we look for because we don't, you know, there's a lot of guys out there that they're like, oh, we want to have you, but it's not. I want to hit the people that understand what we're here for, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So to be honest, if you're building a business and a startup, you need those investors that understand you for your business and aren't just looking at the chart and thinking, oh, I can make a quick buck, because that can ruin your business because you get that volatility. You can't build with that. So I'm happy to support you guys and stick in for the long run. So once staking goes live, just go for the full shebang.
Excellent.
Appreciate that. Really appreciate
awesome.
that. Yeah, our sales live now. It runs for 6 more days, and we're out there plugging away.
I fixed the link so that it doesn't go blank for some people.
Yeah. We had a couple of link issues.
Yeah. I had that earlier when I went to the DJAM's platform and just showed me the blank page, no thing until I went to the actual launch, but then it did work. But that's not sorted.
We didn't put a space between the link and the finger pointing to the link, and so if you're on PC and you click on it, the finger joins the link, and then it does take you to DJAM, but it doesn't know what else to do with it. So that was lame.
Sticky finger.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Hopefully my microphone's still working. But yeah, same. I agree with Mick completely. I'm pretty much left questions. I think you've answered everything I can see and find within the websites, white paper, etc. Yeah, you guys have pretty much smashed it. I'm very interested how I invest in myself.
We appreciate that. We're going to be on a hell of a push over the next six days. We are getting airtime anywhere we possibly can. So Stefan and I are I've been joking, I'm on a Blues Brothers kick today because I'm on a mission from God. So
yeah.
Hey guys, if there's anything you guys need in terms of network marketing, any bookings, listings, those kind of things, just let us know. I'm really happy to help you guys push this.
Man, much appreciated. It's a big deal to us. We've really taken the slow, honest approach to this. We haven't used any bots. We've not done any contests. We're looking for legitimate people who understand what we're putting out there and recognize the scalability of the project through partnerships and the fact that a project like this is so marketable. I mean, it's so marketable. So for us, I mean, we're just excited to get off the ground and get out there and get working.
Right. Yeah. I'd say join our IDO and click buy and get in. And we've got some big marketing plans for both the fiat side and the crypto side to bring it all together. And I'm excited.
Yeah, that's something else we didn't touch on is that, because we are a corporation, we do have the ability to offer a fiat service, but it has to go through an auto stake. And so what would happen is we would have an app developed that a user would come on, they'd pay in fiat, and then it would automatically stake into crypto and give them that onboarding window. And so it's kind of just a sneak around the fiat thing, but it doesn't break our contract. And so, not only right now, we are the only way that you can access these systems unless you work for one of those massive corporations. But the goal obviously is to get out into the fiat market and just, make it simple for people to access it without having to actually understand crypto that much. So we'd be looking at a third-party app to remove us a little bit from liability. So I can imagine the fees will go up a little bit, but when you look at the market value of all these services, it'll be inconsequential to the actual utility. And so that's one of our goals as well. But it's lofty, not going to lie.
Yeah, I can only agree with the side. Sorry, and I can only agree with the marketing side, which you said there. And I personally think this will carry itself. I don't think it's one that even if I was charging, I will charge you this, such promotion. I think this will be quite a lot of branding, really. Personally, for myself, I know I'll be doing some overviews within it. I'm more than happy to do that. I think you'll see quite a lot more as well.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm really excited. I did yesterday was probably the most exciting day I've had in about 8 months.
Well, it's after I mean, we've just been on the steady pace for a year solid, and to get to this point now where we're really bringing it out to people and the sales live. I mean, we're just buzzing. I had a bit of an adrenaline dump about 7 o'clock last night and just had to sit down for an hour. Yeah. So.
Quick question, because I'm making a purchase on the DJAM platform. Is it in BUSD or in BNB?
It's in BNB.
BNB. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I joined. I've got my 15,000 mine tokens.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Very much.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Do you have? Yeah, awesome. Looking forward to it, and I like partnerships as well, and I think there's some great possibilities also with what we are developing here, because the bakery is just a small part of our ecosystem. We were explaining to, I think, one of your community members earlier, I'm not sure if you picked up, but basically an ecosystem for business, connecting them to crypto and offering them all kinds of tools like NFTs, tokenizing, etc., etc. But with businesses launching and all their customers and crypto enthusiasts behind it, I really see an opportunity here for offering them the staking pools that you guys have, and therefore the mental health access as well. So I'll definitely be heading you guys up about that once our platform is live and we have some businesses launching, some startups with us. So we have some launching customers as well, but there's tons of opportunity. So I'm generally excited.
I absolutely
awesome.
look forward to that. Awesome.
And I mentioned to Samantha I'd put you guys in contact with Mitch to maybe interview for the magazine, because that was I'm trying to get his word out to a lot of people too, because he wants to continue doing different charitable events for the
he's talking about doing a charitable golf day and a pancake brunch here, and I think that would be a really excellent way to show people how badly I suck at golf.
I had a golf clinic the other day from one of the company events. I'll join you on the sideline. I'm not a golfer. That's definitely clear. Yeah,
I'm not either.
I went to a driving range once, and I went to a driving range once, and I got mocked by a 10-year-old. So that was it for me, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's stick to fishing. That's something I can do. Yeah,
I can do that. I know that well. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, do you have any final statements that you want to put across to our listeners today?
Oh, yeah. I just want to say that this is not a flash in the pan thing. This is not an under-conceptualized project. We have planned this for a year. We are docs. We have a registered corporation. We have a corporate Coinbase account. We have a corporate bank account. We're partnered with the world's largest e-health provider as a startup company. That's an amazing accomplishment. We have been KYC'd by 2 different companies, Anondox and Seek. Our contract has been audited by Safeton. We have amazing backing in our marketing team and in the launch pad and in our inner circles. Everything that we've done here, we have tried to do in a way that, let's put it this way. We've tried to present what I want to see and what Stefan wants to see when we invest in a project. We want to see something real and lasting and that's scalable and has the potential to go big over years and be a high volume play that is, recognized. So that's our goal here, and we're picking away hard, man. We're pushing. Yeah. So
I think
our sale is live. Our sale is live. Get in. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be plugging away hard all the way through sale and post sale. We've got all kinds of great stuff lined up. So, get in the group. Have a look at the group. Look at our stats. How many people are online in a day at our interactions? It's real. There's no BS in our numbers, and so anyone can check it out for themselves. So, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time. And Ed, I think what you just touched on, I really echo that. The building what you think a project should be, and therefore people don't invest just in the project and in the utility, but in you as a team and your expertise and your vision. I remember me in one of my first AMAs saying, I want people to invest in me and not in the token necessarily. And I really feel that with you guys as well. Hence, I just made a purchase, which honestly I think is one of the first purchases I did of any of the tokens that we have hosted here, at least during the AMA. So for me that's a telltale sign. So guys, really applaud you. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to see this pre-sale fill.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
This was excellent.
You'll see us
Thank
again.
you so much. Right on. I enjoyed this.
Nice meeting you guys. It's a pleasure.
You as well.
You as well, Immortal. Stoked, actually.